All right, hello and welcome to the MCC Fall Season 2017, but in 2022 Grand Finals. So, quick explanation on this one. There's a few things to go over before we get into the races on this one. Quite a few things. So, first of all, MCC's theater system is terrible, and there's no way to save films. So I literally did not go on MCC for a day and lost all the theater. But I do still have the races highlighted, so unfortunately, as far as spectating goes, we're just going to have to go from my point of view from the stream. So fortunately, I did save that, so we still do have record of the races. That's good. Sucks that I can't do the normal like free cam filming that I want to do, but it is what it is. Anyways, so now that that's been explained, MCC series. So if you don't remember, August 21st, 2017, ran this alongside Season 5. We got the idea to do the side series. Wanted to go back to MCC, so we started that here, and we finished the regular season. So the regular season was all completed. We did all the races, we did the wild card, we did all that. Regular season was good to go, big chillin', GG's there. So that was all good. We never got around to doing the grand finals, so what we did is we tried to get the original group back together, and we came pretty close. We didn't get quite everybody, but it's close enough. It was close enough. I'll go through the lineup, and we were all down to do it, and we decided to send it here on March 26, 2022, which is hilarious, and finish out the MCC 2017 Grand Finals. It was kind of a pretty cool one for me because, so not just this series, but we technically never finished any MCC series completely. So we tried to do 3 of them. We tried to do the World of Outlaw one, we tried to do the TRS one, we tried to do this fall one, and like technically not any of them were entirely finished the way that they were planned. So it's pretty cool to go back and, you know, close this chapter and finally get like a complete MCC series in. So the tracks that we're looking at here for this grand finals: Road Atlanta. You don't need the version 2. Road course. Just put Road Atlanta. So we got Road Atlanta for our first track. We got Johnstown Arena Cross and Whitewater Rapids. Really good track lineup. Looking forward to racing all 3 of these. But before we get into it, as per usual, a little recap on how the season went. So here you get a look at the regular season results. So the top 3 ended up being Luke's Launch Bean, Real Deal Detail 4-5, Fireball 6th, Roman 7th, and Opix 8th. That was your top 8. And it was the top 8 qualifiers that would punch their ticket into the grand finals. And we ended up getting most of them. So basically what we did is we wanted to get this exact group of 8, but we had like some backup drivers lined up in case that wasn't possible. So the only one that ended up missing out on it was Fireball, and Fireball got replaced by Rebel. Here, so Rebel's gonna get his chance to run it on MCC and do his grand final there. And you know, he only did the one race, but he did pretty well in that race. So I think he's got the speed to be in this for sure, and I don't think he'll disappoint in Fireball's like fill-in position here. But yeah, so there's how the regular season went. There's the results for that. And that is, again, our driver lineup. Myself, Slaunch, Bean, Real Deal Detail, Rebel, Roman, and Opix. That is going to be our driver lineup. So we almost got the exact same lineup. Close enough. Close enough. Sorry, Fireball. So pretty happy about that. But now that we're through that, I think we got the little explanation, all that, all good to go, all out of the way. Set the stage. Now it's time for the race. So, Road Atlanta. It's not the... Well, you'll see it. It's not a completely faithful remake. There's a few things that we threw in there, and it's also based off the club circuit, not the full circuit. And there's a few little sections that we threw in to Halo-fy it, make it run a little bit better in Halo. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It'll be a cool first race to kick off the grand finals. Qualifying. We ended up... During the regular season, we did heats, semis, and qualifying. We chalked the heats and semis. We just did qualifying. We just did qualifying for the races here. So, qual results for Road Atlanta. Rebel got first with a 53.2. Luke second, 53.23. Third, Slaunch. Fourth, Roman. Fifth, Real Deal. Opix 6th, Detail 7th, and Bean 8th. That's going to be your lineup on the grid. Let's line it up, get it started. There we go, green flag, and we're off to the MCC Fall Season Grand Finals here in 2022. Pretty cool moment, gotta say, at least for me. It was pretty awesome seeing the nade go out and getting all 8 drivers on the track, running this first lap down. And I'll definitely, I might go on some tangents here, in this first moto, because definitely up towards the front in this one. But the beginning of this, it's Rebel who had a pretty good start, and I'm trying to fight him for second. And maybe we'll go to some, maybe we'll pull a COD and go to some listen-ins at some point, because I forgot that we do have that. That's cool too. That's a cool benefit of doing it this way. So maybe we'll do some listen-ins at some key moments in the races. That might be pretty funny. Look at the speed that you get up to, and right there, that's a big moment in the race. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We'll do it right there. Roll it back. Let's go to a listen-in on that one. This is gonna be the gimmick for this one.
Just died. There you go. Karma.
Oh no, it didn't turn.
I can't even hear myself.
Oh.
And you see him calling it.
Oh god.
You heard him. Well, you saw it happen. You heard him call it. Rebel locking up, and that is something that we're not used to having to worry about. Having raced on Halo 5
Pole wasted.
for the past few years, the Halo 5 gooses don't really have the lockup.
That's tough section.
It's it's not even really a thing in Halo 5, but Halo 4, Halo 4, and MCC was definitely a thing that you had to look out for, and it usually only happens on like certain sections, and that first turn is one of those that you kind of have to be careful for with that on this track. If you hit this corner, if you mess up your entry to that first corner slightly, just a slight mistake, could completely ruin your race with locking up and going off the side of the track there.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Infinite will definitely not have that.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right now.
So far, that we are.
True.
So the laps for this one, the checkpoints are kind of cheese. I believe that checkpoint 23 will be the end of the race, but it's a 12-lap moto. It's 12-lap motos here. And we are still doing the motos, by the way. It's not just the one race, so we are still doing the motos. It's still 2 motos, the invert, all that stuff. So yeah, qualifying in the motos. That's how we did this one. That's how we did it. And it's a bit of a throwback format.
Like 5 hours ago.
I think most of us were just happy to be doing this race. But I definitely think most of the drivers agreed on not doing the original format that we did for this season, where it's the qual, the heats, and the sem. It's just so much. At the same time, I do enjoy more track time and more race time, but would definitely rather see that be translated into the motos being longer than, you know, having an extra like the semi or the heat or whatever.
Whoa.
And I think most drivers would probably agree with me on that as well.
Like 2 years on.
Don't jinx it.
I'm already losing top.
Roman being fast.
The Roman roast, love to hear that in the comms.
Oh, Yertle is in third slash.
Slash, watch out for the collision section.
So this first sector of the track here is
Again, what the fuck?
one where you can make up
Yeah, I keep conking my
the most
chicane,
time.
so it's not gonna
I
be
would
long
say,
before we battle.
it's a little more. You definitely can in the other ones too, but I'd say it's a little more difficult. I'd say most drivers run pretty similar times around the other parts of the track, but that first sector there, where you have those S's
Now you want to hoop after
back
attack.
and forth, and you're trying to keep your speed up. That's the thing. You've seen I've been taking it pretty well at the beginning of this race, keeping the momentum up, but that's not always the case. You can lose your momentum. You can bog through that part of the track, and it's a pretty easy mistake to make.
He's letting go of his game.
And if you do make that mistake, you're going to lose a ton of time to somebody that takes it full speed and carries their momentum through there. So I would say that this whole portion, this whole first sector of the track, this is like the most important part of this track. The drivers that are able to get that area down and run that consistently are going to be the fastest.
They were pretty catchy.
As well with this area here, the Watkins Glen style interloop, the chicane back into the other chicane. Classic section there. Decided to add one of those on this track because I love that section. So as a little shout out to that track.
Yeah.
And I think it works. I think it works well for. I think it works well here for mixing up this track a little bit and making it feel a little bit more like a Halo track, and
Just chilling in the back of the pack now.
give us some more. Give us another like skill section to hit on the track.
Sorry, Roman will crash and then you'll race.
So I think it's a nice addition.
No, the goose lockup.
Oh, rip.
And you heard it. Probably heard it called out again. The lockup is probably not going to be a thing in the other two races, but on the
Alright, cool.
GP racing,
I'm about to just pull off and call
on
this day.
this, it's definitely a factor. It's definitely a factor. You got to be careful for the lockup. You got to be careful for the gooses. Momentum bogging down. Things you need to worry about in GP racing on MCC. That, again, Halo 5, what we've experienced recently, not so much of a factor. So I believe it's 5 to go here. So already pretty quickly making our way through this first moto. The length on them is a little bit shorter than normal, seeing as it's the grand final and we've got 3 tracks to go through, 6 races to go through, plus qualifying and a little bit of practice for each of these tracks. So moto length is a tad shorter than normal, but should probably still feel pretty similar. As you can see, the battle for second and third is definitely heating up. That battle's looking pretty close. Might see some moves be attempted on that one here in the next few laps with only 4 to go.
Thanks, I try.
Should have listened. Should have went for a listen in on that one. But yeah, and this another thing too is, like, you can see with the bordering here too, it's really hard to work with in this game. Like, there's the terrain options. I think we did a pretty decent job in this track. There are a few spots where it definitely could have been better, but in general, I think we did a pretty decent job. Just the way you got to do it in this game is just so different compared to Halo 5. Halo 5, you have so many more terrain options and rock options to work with. It makes it a lot easier in Halo 5 to get like really good bordering on these road courses.
Prejudiced against ramen.
That being said, I think we did a pretty good job with it on this track. I actually think this track looks pretty good aesthetically for us, you know, just trying our best with it. And oh, I guess I haven't mentioned it yet. So yeah, these tracks, aside from the last track, which we'll get to, the first 2 tracks were both new. Both completely new, made specifically for this grand final, like within the last week. So we definitely were not warmed up to the forging on this game, but I'm pretty proud of what we did, because I think they're pretty good for being literal first attempts at these types of tracks in years. I think we did a pretty good job. You know, definitely could have been better, but again, considering the circumstances, I don't think we could have done much better, if that makes sense. If we ran it back, if we, you know, forged for a month and ran it back, it could be better, but not in this circumstance. As we're about 2 laps to go in this first moto.
Lock up again. Awesome.
And I'm looking to hopefully close it out here.
Well, the home AX is coming up next.
Oh yeah. All motivation's lost already.
No.
I'm gonna have to act like a real beach next moto.
Let's come around for the final time here. We're gonna go into the last lap. I'm chowing. Listen in for the last lap. Here we go.
Lap complete.
Yeah, those revs are kind of hot.
Stick slapping and breathing. This is exactly what you wanted to hear.
Should. You guys are really close.
Oh, come on.
Alright. Lining up fast to start.
And final lap down.
Oh, let's
Need to
go.
regain.
Ronaldo must have done something. Final lap.
Man, if there was one more lap,
Pull it off to the side. So results for the first moto here at Road Atlanta, first moto of this grand final. Gonna be Luke Slaunch, Roman,
I didn't conk you.
Detail, Real Deal, Bean,
I can tell you that.
Rebel, and Opix.
Who's outside the track?
That is your order. Yeah, outside the track cheese. So there you go. There's the first moto down. Let's move on to the next one.